Today I want to talk about romance in Berserk, and I picked out like seven constellations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 constellations. I don't want to call them couples, just the constellations of romance in the manga. And just a question. Can bees hear sound? Do they hear me speaking right now? Bees. I'm talking about bees. Can bees hear? Someone answer. There's a bee in my room and the bee is sleeping. It's so cute. I don't want to wake it up. Oh my god, it's so fucking cute. So I hope bees are deaf. It's so fucking cute how it's sleeping there. Okay. Oh. I'm gonna calm down now. So let's start. Okay, so the first romantic, not couple, constellation I wanted to talk about is Casca and Griffith. In my opinion, the relationship between Casca and Griffith and Casca and Guts is the most interesting in Berserk, romance-wise. So when it comes to Casca and Griffith, I think it's apparent Griffith doesn't feel anything for her. He does respect her and acknowledge how good she is as a soldier, but he is just seeing her as a tool, very convenient tool. And Casca knows it. But Casca's perspective for me is very interesting. So we have Casca, who I wouldn't say admires Griffith, but she does admire her savior, someone that she looks up to because he's strong. But the thing is, Casca does realize that Griffith is human. She doesn't idolize him. She acknowledges that he just makes himself very strong, because she knows he can't deal with achieving his dream and the road to his dream in any other way. If he were to feel guilty or let everything consume him, he wouldn't last long. So she knows him very well, and she still likes him. Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't say it's like worship, because worshipping would mean that you would put this person way above you, like deity level. I would say she genuinely cares for him as a person, not just as a savior. So she does really look up to him when it comes to the part that makes Griffith charming and capable. She does look up to it, but she also genuinely cares for him. And it's apparent that she loves him despite his shortcomings. Let's say shortcomings, yeah. And Casca is the most perceptive person in Berserk, in my opinion, because she knows Griffith is never going to look at her the same way she looks at him. She knows he likes Guts, which not even Guts and Griffith had figured out. She realized it. She realizes changes in Griffith. She's very perceptive. And she also knew when the eclipse was going down, she also knew Griffith would say yes to the deal. When everyone was fucking confused and feeling like they're in a nightmare, she was the one who was like, fuck, we're in danger. Whereas Guts, for example, he was like, no, Griffith would never do that. He's not a monster. He's my friend. And everyone was like, oh, what the fuck are these demons talking about? And Casca was like, oh shit, no, get into formation. This dude, he will do it. I know him. Casca knows him the best. Well, she is, of course, jealous. Because in her mind, she was like, okay, Griffith only has eyes for his dream. I can respect that. She thought that. And then Guts came along. And then it wasn't like that. And she was like, well, fuck, why him? Why him and not me? I would be like that too, probably. I don't know. I've never been in love, but probably. I can see that happen with any kind of person who has a crush. Okay? So it's understandable that she would be jealous. But as I said, she loved him despite and because of all his traits. And she understood him. Which Griffith thought was... Because when she wanted to help him out, be an emotional support for him, Griffith was like, nah, shit. Now she's being to me what I should be to her. Now she's coming up to me, offering me consolation and whatever, after he was fucked by this old dude, Jenna. He was like, oh, no, shit. This girl is supposed to look up to me. And now she's treating me like I'm a weakling. Fuck no. And that's when he, for the last time, allowed himself to be weak. He saw what it did to Casca, the girl that was supposed to look up to him. She was suddenly treating him like any other person. So that's when he let go and decided to be just dead set on his dream until Guts came along, of course. And also when it comes to the level of admiration, I would say, let's get to the next constellation with this. Griffith and Charlotte. So the love or crush that Casca has for Griffith and that Charlotte has for Griffith, they're completely different in my opinion. They're similar in some aspects, as in looking up to someone, maybe. But other than that, they're different. Griffith sees Charlotte just as a tool. And Charlotte, towards Griffith, I think Griffith to her is just like a celebrity crush. Something that you can compare to, well, people nowadays with celebrity crushes. She idolizes him, okay? I don't think Casca idolized Griffith. She completely understood him. Charlotte is the one idolizing Griffith. She sees this interesting man, this good-looking man, this refined man, and she's like, oh, fuck, I love him. And she goes to extreme lengths for him, too. I mean, she caught a poisoned arrow for him. Not the other way around. When they were hunting, Griffith was the hero because he protected Charlotte when he was actually the target. But Charlotte really did jump. She caught an arrow for him. I wouldn't say Charlotte is a no-brain princess. Charlotte is she's been very sheltered. Not just for a princess. I mean, yeah, of course, when she's a princess, she's gonna be sheltered, growing up sheltered. And away from all the troubles, and as a person of nobility, she doesn't need to educate herself, and as a woman, she doesn't need to educate herself in several things, like how to think for yourself. She just grew up in a fairy tale-like environment, with fairy tales probably too, and Griffith is her fairy tale prince. I was about to say princess, and that would have been correct too. But, So anyway, I think she's the one who idolizes Griffith, but her love, let's say love, is pure. Because she's in this pure mindset, she's still, she's a fucking princess. A pure girl. I wouldn't say she's dumb. Also, I love that she's knitting. No, not knitting. What's that called? Well, anyway. She's like a fangirl, basically. Then, third constellation. Between Casca and Guts. Okay, so I've seen several people say something like, oh no, Griffith fucked Guts' girlfriend. And I don't think that's the correct thing to say, because romance never happened. It never happened between Casca and Guts. It could have, but it didn't. Before the eclipse, I mean. Basically, Guts and Casca both wanted to be near Griffith, close to him. And Guts was aware of Casca's feelings, so he didn't really want to interfere. And he also, in his way, wanted to be special to Griffith. So there was no romance between them yet. But as Griffith rose up more and more in rank, in social status, he was kind of far away from them. So he wasn't really tangible. He wasn't really there anymore. So they turned to each other. They started to, instead of looking up to someone who was clearly not on their level anymore, they opened up towards each other as equals. They were both mercenaries. And it's easier to open up to people you think you don't care about. So that's why that made it easier for them. Casca could be her angry self with Guts. And Guts accepted her. Because Guts is such a good boy. I love him. Let me just check if the bee is still asleep. It's still asleep. It's so cute. Why are you here in my room? Oh. It's so fucking cute. Alright. I'm gonna continue now. Okay. So, as they were equals, they opened up to each other. It was easy. And I think that's when they started to warm up towards each other in a more romantic way. So they were getting closer to each other, and when Guts decided to leave, Casca was against it. Not because of Griffith, but because of herself. Well, of course, because of Griffith too. She was like, oh shit, I know what Griffith feels for him. He's gonna break down if Guts leaves. But she was like, no, I don't want him to leave either. And then she goes to Guts' room, and Casca and Guts opened up to each other. Casca realized that she had deeper feelings for Guts when he decided to leave. She realized that she had fallen for a guy who was near to her, unlike Griffith. And I think that was beautiful. I mean, it's sad that she realized she liked Guts when he left, but I mean, at least she did. And Guts, you never really see him develop feelings for Casca. He just says particular things that make you realize, oh yeah, okay, he kind of likes her, probably, but it's never seen in his behavior. He does take, care of her, but it's just things that he says that make the reader think, oh, okay, there could be something more going on. For example, when he says to Judo, she likes Griffith, I don't want to be in the way. So you don't really see him develop the feelings. They're just kind of there when he says those things, but I don't know, that's cute too. He also went from wanting to live for Griffith to, hey, I want to live for myself, and I kind of wish this girl was with me. That's beautiful. It's cute. It's so cute. Like, instead of living for another person, he's like, I want to live for myself, and I want her to be next to me, by my side when I do that. We can live for ourselves and for each other. And that's so adorable. So, but anyway, my argument was that they were not a boyfriend and girlfriend. Because, well, Guts left. Of course, then when he returned, they finally, well, I don't think they talked much about their feelings for each other. They expressed it with their bodies. Well, okay, they did talk then. They did talk while or after fucking. Guts, for the first time, opened up to someone about his own past and trauma. Before, it was just Casca opening up to Guts about her side of things, about her life. And Guts hadn't done anything like that before with anyone. So I thought that was beautiful too, that he opened up to Casca too. It wasn't just one-sided. And Casca fully accepted that. And that was beautiful, okay? She scarred him so much that when he choked her, she was like, well, I don't mind. I don't mind if you hurt me. It would be a privilege to get hurt by the person that I love and who I've hurt too. No, I think Guts liked her before that too. But when she broke down, he was like, no, we gotta take care of each other, and we're both looking for something that is hard for us to find. Namely, a meaning to live that goes beyond someone else. It's just for us. They both don't know their role in life, where they're standing in this world, what they want to do. Because once they lose that one thing that gave them purpose, for Casca it was Griffith's dream, and for Guts it was temporarily Griffith's dream too. But when that is lost, what is left of them? What are they going to do? So they consoled each other, and they realized, hey, maybe we don't need anything more. Maybe we are enough. Guts then wanted to be together with Casca, but he wanted to leave again, and he wanted Casca to come with him, whereas Casca was like, I gotta make sure that the man who saved me is okay without me too. I just want to make sure he's okay, and then I'm gonna leave. And when she saw that Griffith was not okay, that he needed help, that he wasn't that strong man anymore, she was like, I can't leave him. He gave me a purpose, and now I feel obligated to stay with him. He has no one left. If I leave, then all of the feelings before that, the gratitude, it'd be gone. So she stayed. So that would have been, hey, yes, we recognize each other's feelings between Casca and Guts. We recognize each other's feelings. We feel the same way, but we can't go the same way. And so that's why I think they were not boyfriend and girlfriend. They weren't before that, and then the eclipse happened. So it's just as soon as they realized what they felt for each other, that they cared for each other, that the eclipse happened. So it could never really bloom. And that's sad. And how between the for the romance between Guts and Griffith, okay, good English. Just gonna check for the B. Yes, it's still there. Okay. See, this is kind of difficult because for Guts, Griffith was someone who was completely different from him. He had something that Guts didn't have, and that was a purpose. And when he saw that Griffith was so passionate about his purpose, he couldn't help but be drawn in by that. And also, so far, Guts had always been, not treated very well. So he loved his father, Gambino. Gambino didn't return that feeling very well. He was mistreated. Then he was chased away. He didn't have any sense of belonging, not towards a group, not towards the world. And when Griffith showed up, he was the first person who really wanted Guts, and who went out of his way to recruit Guts. And for Guts, that was something new, to be wanted, to be needed, and to be liked. So I think that was when he was like, fuck, this feels good. He does so much for me that I want to give back. So he was like, okay, if I'm going to swing my sword, because I don't know anything else, I want to do it for this person who gave me a purpose, who made me feel like I matter. And it's cute. Really cute. And when he heard that Griffith didn't think much of it, which of course he did, but Griffith was too dumb. When he thought that Griffith, that he meant nothing to Griffith, or nothing more than anyone else, he was deeply hurt. The only person that he wanted to be special to, because that person was special to him, didn't feel that way. And that's a kind of heartbreak. And I don't know, I can't really define Guts' feelings towards Griffith, but they were just deep. Yeah, just deep. Let's say deep. I don't know if it's romantic. It was definitely something big. And it was very personal to Guts. When it comes to Griffith is a special case because he's dumb. So because Griffith forced himself to never change, to stay that kid from 10, 15 years ago, to stay that kid with that one goal set in mind. He had to kill development inside of himself, okay? I don't want to say character development, but let's say personality development. He had to kill that off because that would just make him waver. He didn't like anything that would make him waver when it comes to his dream. He needed to roam everything out of the way and just look at his dream. Just have that in mind. So if he were to care for someone else or find something more interesting, like, let's say, knitting, I don't know, anything, okay, he would probably think, well, maybe I don't need this kingdom anymore. I like knitting. And he wanted to avoid that. That kid inside of him wanted to avoid anything that would make him waver. Because also, when he started on his journey, if you stop, it was all for nothing. And for him, people have already died. So, of course, he couldn't stop. He couldn't waver. So he blinded himself towards everything else that was not his dream. But of course, when he saw Guts, who was not a slave to anything, a dream, for example, or anything abstract or concrete, when he saw someone who was really free, he wanted what Guts had. So they both wanted something that the other had, right? Guts wanted a purpose, and Griffith wanted freedom to do and act however he likes. So that's what they liked in each other, is what I think. And Griffith came to really care for Guts, seeing as he really plunges himself into very dangerous situations, which are not favorable for him if he wants to achieve his fucking dream, right? You cannot just, if you know one of your soldiers is fighting somewhere with several people, you can't just abandon the whole fucking group and be like, no, gotta save this dude. Why? Unless you care for him. And he didn't really know. When Guts asked him, like, why do you do that all the fucking time? Because both knew that it wasn't really smart. It wasn't really smart. Griffith didn't have an answer. He was like, do I need a reason? Yes, you do, bitch. You do need a reason. You have a reason. You just don't want to see it. You don't want to look at it because you know you're going to waver. And he knew it too. He knew that if he were to just side glance at Guts, look away from his dream just a little bit, everything would have been for nothing. So, when Guts left, or decided to leave, and he was like panicking. Let's say he was panicking. I guess he didn't really know why he was panicking. He was saying to himself, no, he belongs to me, he's supposed to be here, but everyone was free to do whatever they wanted at that point. Because they were already part of the army, right? The royal army. Product placement. One of the dudes wanted to make clothes or shoes or something. Gaston. He wanted to do something like that. So everyone was free to choose whatever the fuck they wanted to do from that point onwards. Because Griffith would get his royal army. He would lead it. And it was okay. It was okay for everyone else, but not for Guts. Why? There is no why. He just didn't want to lose Guts. So he became really yandere. It was very interesting how that duel played out. Guts. So in Griffith's head, he was planning on stopping Guts. He knew Guts was stronger than him and that he would lose if he didn't make a fatal strike and calculate the angle and whatever. And at that point, he was willing to kill Guts. It was like, if I can't have him, no one can. So he really didn't want to give up Guts. But the superiority complex came into play. So, very interesting that he was ready to kill Guts just to prevent him from leaving, whereas Guts stopped his sword. He could have cut off Griffith's arm, ruined his dream forever. He could have done that. But Guts stopped. And it's so interesting. Griffith was ready to kill him, whereas Guts just fucking stopped. He was so in control. So when he left and Griffith went nuts because he's fucking unstable. And he went to ruin his life by fucking Princess Charlotte. That was obviously his way of dealing with rejection. Something that he wanted to have was gone. Now, during his journey, since Guts joined, he wanted two things, okay? He wanted Guts and his dream. He didn't really care about the wanting Guts, or he didn't pay it much attention, but he wanted Guts to stay with him. So when he lost that one thing, and he realized that later on when he was tortured, Guts at that point has become more important to him than his dream. So when Guts left, he felt like he lost something very big. He was heartbroken, basically. And because he was not in control, Guts was in control, he wasn't. He wanted to make himself feel like he was in control again. So he fucked Charlotte. The girl who did want him. And who he knew he could have. Well, and then he got tortured. And while he was being tortured, he blamed Guts. Of course. His life was ruined. Everything up until that point was for naught. Everything was done. Over. And he blamed Guts for making him weak. But he also held on to the memory of Guts. So Guts was like a kind of god to Griffith, because a god is something that I imagine some being that will allow people to blame for bad things and also to hold on to for hope. Make you feel fulfilled while you don't have something else, for example. Like in the back of your head, you know, oh, you have God. Okay, no matter what happens, you have God. And for Griffith, it was Guts. He was being tortured, he was blaming Guts, and he was holding on to the thought of Guts. And he knew, well, shit, I love him. And he really says that. This whole fucking monologue of saying that, oh, people cannot ignore me. They either hate me or they adore me. I have them all in my hand. But how come that someone who I thought I had in grasp was actually having a hold on me? So he realized that he loved Guts, but that was too late too. And then when he was, rescued, and he saw that during the time that he was busy, being noble. He wasn't really a noble man, but, well, he was trying to be one. So during that time, and while he was being tortured, something had formed between Guts and Casca. Again, he was not in control. Casca, who was supposed to be his tool, was not under his control anymore. She wasn't looking up to him anymore. She wasn't living her life for him anymore. She had actually found something else that she cherished. Something that was not, important from a macro perspective. Guts wasn't really important. But from a subjective point of view, Guts was important to her, but, Guts and nothing. And no one. And Guts, who he wanted to have, was looking at Casca. And this is all because Griffith was way above them. And those two equals turned towards each other. So that had backfired on Griffith. And he realized that. And he didn't like that. He didn't like it. And then when they were being rescued and they escaped, and Griffith was holding on to the flowers that one girl gave him. And he saw the castle move into the distance, and he let it go, the flowers. I think at that point he let go of his dream, and he was like accepting it in a way. He knew that from now on, well, at least he's with Guts again. And then when he overheard that Guts was going to leave, and why, he realized that everything was just a product of a big misunderstanding that he gave birth to. And he couldn't even correct that mistake because he had no tongue. He had no tongue. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't change anything anymore. And also that Casca decided to stay with him because she wanted to take care of him like an invalid person. That must have hurt his pride. Yes, definitely. And that final fantasy that he had before he hit the water, after he saw the cobblestone path in front of him again as a crippled dude. Okay, so he had that fantasy. Okay, nothing is over yet. We can still make it. He saw his childhood self. And then as he was flying through the air and before he hit the water, he realized, no, it's fucking over for me. The only option I have left is, yes, being taken care of by Casca, and we both become a couple, although we don't really see eye to eye. And he didn't like it. Because all his life, he was meant to be someone better than that, something more. And then it was taken from him. So when it was offered to him again, well, if he couldn't have his kingdom, right? That is a heartbreak, okay? Letting go of your dream is, I think, one of the hardest things in life. Letting go of the purpose you had. So he could have had everything and he lost everything. I don't know which is worse. Let's take Guts and Griffith. One never had anything, and one had everything and lost everything. I don't know which one is sadder. But his heart broke when he couldn't achieve his dream anymore, and his heart broke when Guts wouldn't return to him, and wouldn't return his feelings, of course. Because he liked Casca. Two heartbreaks, basically. And if he could have, he was being offered a second chance to have at least one of those things. A kingdom. Of course he would take that chance. Casca knew it. And then he was basically dying 100 times because every death of every soldier he felt. So he felt their deaths pierce through him. And with each death he became less human and more reduced to that one core. That one core that made him pursue his dream. And that was a ruthless core. Of course, it had to be. Yet he still had this personal grudge from his other heartbreak, the one with Guts. So, as he was reborn again, he did something to make himself feel in control again by fucking both of them over, torturing Guts and torturing Casca. So this was the most evil thing he could have done, and he did it. Oh, that was his first deed as a god. Not really a god, but yeah, let's say god. So from then on, he's become empty. Not empty. Let's say he's become that ruthless thing. That core, that evil core. Because he was a being of evil at that point. So he was reduced to the evil side of Griffith. And when he was reborn as a human, again, he had to lose another quality, a form of quality. So to become a god, he lost those human qualities he had, which are all different traits, right? And to go from god to human again, he again had to lose some qualities. So from then on, he just got reduced so much that he's empty, basically. And he said that. He said, now I'm empty. So first he was, full of human emotions, complexity. Then he was reduced to just being evil. And then he had nothing as he was reborn into a human. And that is a big tragedy, in my opinion. That you have nothing left. Yes, you get your dream, you get your kingdom, but there's nothing left of you. With each metamorphosis, he died more. So, obviously he still feels something for Guts, but I think that may be due to him not receiving every sacrifice during the eclipse and combining with the baby. So that's a weakness. But anyway, let's go to the next constellation. How long is this stream already? Half an hour. Should I stop? I can talk about Judo and Casca, Serpica and Farnese and Guts, and Shirka and Guts in another video. I've now covered the main characters. I could do the other characters in another video, another time. Anyway, this was fun. And next time I'm going to talk about the rest of the constellations. So, thank you for joining me. And yeah, see you next time. Bye. Have a nice evening.